This does not totally substitute your JAMB syllabus, but if you have just few days to your exam, you should be here. And here are 15 most repeated topics in chemistry JAMB exam. Disclaimer: if this doesn't substitute your entire syllabus, but if you have not read anything and you have just few days to your exam, this is from someone that had 314 in his last JAMB exam, and you want to listen to me. Let's delve into it. So the number one topic you want to do or you want to read is separation techniques. Now, here I'm not just going to be telling you these are the topics you need to read. I'm going to be going in depth on the things you need to know that you can use to score 90 plus in your JAMB exam. I mean, you want to listen to me, okay? So from separation techniques, number one thing you want to the first thing is that separation techniques is used for purely mixtures, right? You cannot separate compounds in quotes, but when we have mixtures like air, like blood, you want to use techniques like separation techniques. And another thing that you must know is the properties required in this particular separation techniques, right? For instance, sieving, the major property is what? Is different sizes. So for instance, you want to sieve maybe when you have rice and beans, because they're of different sizes, separation techniques like sieving is important, right? Now, for example, immiscibility, something like petrol and water, they cannot mix. So the properties in this particular thing is property of what? Immiscibility. Another very important thing is simple distillation and fractional distillation. So you want to use something like boiling point, difference in boiling point, either wide for simple or close for fractional distillation. Okay. And you want to talk about evaporation, crystallization, and the like. Number two topics that you should read is the kinetic theory of gases. Now, there are a lot of things you want to know here. You want to know the kinetic theory of gases and the state of matter. When we talk about solid, liquid, and gaseous state, and you want to know the properties of this particular this state of matter. Assumption of kinetic theory of gases, very, very important. The 5 assumptions, right? You want to know them. They are very easy, okay? Another thing that you want to know about this second topic is the gas laws. The gas laws are very, very important, and you need to know them. If you are new here, try to subscribe. This is the chemistry tutor. I teach chemistry, physics, biology for JAMB students. If you want to score 300 plus, this is where you should be. You should subscribe and follow and share this video. The number 3 topics that you want to know is atomic structures and chemical bonding. Atomic structures, the major thing that you need to know here is the discovery. It's a story actually. If you follow the trend, it's from J.J. Thomson. Ernest Rutherford is a student to J.J. Thomson, and Neil Bohr is a student to Ernest Rutherford. So now the other part is the chemical bonding, right? For chemical bonding, there are different types: the electrovalent bond, the covalent bond, the coordinate covalent bond, right? The reason why chemical bonding even happened in the first place is for stability, right? That's one of the things you have to understand. Okay, you want to understand that electrovalence is transfer of electrons between metal and non-metal, right? Covalent, just like the name, co is like sharing, okay, where elements share the electrons, right? And coordinate covalent, you want to talk about the lone pair of electrons, right? That one has lone pair of electrons. So those are the things you want to take note. If I say water molecules, that's what? That's hydrogen bond. Another thing that you want to take note here is the shapes and angle and the bond angles of elements, right? And compounds. Okay. You want to the bond angle of compounds is very, very important. For instance, if I ask you what is the shape of water, water has a V shape, or sometimes they call it bend shape, or sometimes they even call it angular shape. Okay, you have to know that. And the angle, you also have to know the bond angle of water. You understand? 104.5. The bond angle of ammonia, that's 107.5, 107 in some textbooks, and you want to know the shape. For instance, ammonia has what we call trigonal pyramidal. You understand? Fourth topic you want to know is abars. What is abars? Acid, base, and salt. And for abars, you want to know the 3 theories of acid, base, and salt, right? The first one is Arrhenius theory, the second one is Bronsted-Lowry, and the third one is Lewis. Arrhenius was trying to talk about the number of hydrozonium ion, right, present in one mole of an acid. Why he's talking about hydroxyl ion present for base. And Bronsted-Lowry, how do I know? Bronsted, B-R-O-N. The O-N, that means Bronsted-Lowry talk about what? Defining acid and base in terms of proton donor and proton acceptor. Okay. Lewis, L-E. The E there is for electron. So Lewis defined based on electron pair acceptor and electron pair donor. So you want to know that. Another thing that you must know is pH. Very, very important. How to calculate pH. Minus logarithm to base 10, the question of H plus. right? You should know that. I have a video on how you can calculate pH without calculator. It is no brainer. You want to check that. That's why you have to subscribe. If you are just here, if you have not subscribed, try to do so right now. Share, comment, and also if you want another version of this video that is for other subjects like physics and biology, you can drop it in the comment section. I will check the comment section. If there's enough response, I will do it. Okay. Another thing you want to know is properties of salt, right? Deliquescent, efflorescence, hygroscopic, and drying agents, right? You want to know these things, okay? They are very, very important. As you know that deliquescence and efflorescence and hygroscopic, when we talk about deliquescence, these are what? These are salts which, absorb are salt that absorb water of crystallizations, right? And dissolves in it and form a solution. While hygroscopic absorb water of crystallization but do not dissolve. But efflorescence are, salt. Efflorescent, take note. Efflorescence is a phenomenon. Efflorescent are the salts, right? Which loses water of crystallization. Okay, you want to take note of that. So if you know all of this about Abas, I think you are good to go. The number 5 topics you should take note of is stoichiometry. Very easy. The word stoichio means element, and the word metry means measurement. It's just basically measurement of elements, and it is very easy. There are about 13 formulas you need to solve any stoichiometry question, and I made a video on that. If you are just saying this, try to check it in my video. Subscribe and check my platform. I made a video on the 13 formulas you need to solve any stoichiometry question. But what do I mean? You have to understand that there's a mole to mass relationship of stoichiometry, mole to volume relationship of stoichiometry, mole to concentration relationship of stoichiometry. When we talk about dilution constant, C1V1 equals to C2V2. And one most important formula is N equals to CV, where N is the number of mole, C is the concentration in mole per dm3, and volume is volume in dm3. Please take note, not cm3. Okay, you want to take note of that, and you want to take note of the percentage composition. You understand? It is very, very important. It is no brainer. You have to know them. That's number 5. Number 6 topic you should know is periodic table and periodicity. I have about 10 to 15 minutes video on periodicity. It's here on my channel. Try to subscribe and check it out. But before that, let me give you what you need. You only need one mnemonic. What is that mnemonic? Dami equals to I square E square. If you know that mnemonic, I promise you can solve most questions under periodicity. Very easy. The properties, these are the properties that I just said: atomic radius, metallic property, ionic radius, ionization energy, electron affinity, and all of that. I have a video on it. Check them out. Subscribe and check it out. Another thing that you want to know about this is discoveries. Who arrange elements in order of atomic number. That's Henry Moseley. The another thing that you want to know is Dmitry Mendeleev, that explain the periodic table, arrange elements in order of what? Atomic weight. So take note of that. It's very, very important. There are other names, but these are most important ones that JAMB used to ask. Atomic number, Henry Moseley. Dmitry Mendeleev is what? The part of atomic weight, the mass. And that next topic you want to take note of is what called nuclear chemistry and radioactivity. Very, very simple topic. People have asked video on it. If you also need it, let me know so I can make video on this and upload it. Just tell me what you need. And if this stuff, if you have watched to this point, I appreciate you. If you really love this, try to subscribe, comment below how helpful this has been, and share to your friends. I really appreciate that, to support this channel and also to let other people see it. Okay. Now, nuclear chemistry or radioactivity is very, very simple, just like the word nuclear chemistry. If you realize all the reactions that we have been doing is always electron. But for nuclear chemistry, just like nuclear reaction, we only deal with the nucleus. And what is in the nucleus? The proton and the neutron. So the reaction that deals with neutron and proton is what we call nuclear chemistry. Very easy. And Henri Becquerel was the first man, a French man, that talked about radioactivity, was the first man that talked about radiations. Okay. And it was discovered in 1896. That was when it started. Then Marie Curie and Marie Curie. Mary, M for mother, P papa. That means Marie Curie is the father. Mary, M is the mother, like husband and wife. Okay. Another thing I want to take note of is the radiations: alpha particle, beta particle, and gamma ray. The properties of these things. I'm going to make a video on it. If you ask, let me know if you need video on nuclear chemistry and drop in the comment section. I'm going to try to do that, and so that you can learn from it. It's very, very easy. And also another thing I want to take note of is balancing of radioactive reactions. Like when they say uranium emits alpha particle, when they say uranium emits beta particle or gamma ray. You understand? Please know, I know what I'm saying. Gamma ray. beta particle, alpha particle. That is, alpha is represented with helium, right? You should know that helium nuclei. What we call mass defect, okay? When we use E equals to change in mc squared, you have to take note of that. Another concept you have to take note about this radioactivity is what we call atomic mass unit and mega electron volt. It's very easy. I'm going to make a video if you ask. So just tell me if you need it, and I'll. Number 8 topic that you need is qualitative analysis. Here we are talking about the quality of salt. Okay, the quality of salt is very, very important that you understand this. When we talk about the instruments like Hoffman voltameter for splitting water, for when we talk about desiccator and desiccant. Desiccator is an instrument. Desiccant is a salt. Okay, you have to understand that. Of course, silica gel. Yes, that's the universal drying agent. That's another JAMB question. Okay, take note of that. It's very, very important. Now, another thing you want to know is pH of salt, hydrolysis of salt, cations and anions, flame test, right? When we talk about sodium, what is the flame color? That's golden yellow. When we talk about potassium, lilac, abi. When we talk about calcium, brick red. But the calcium in calcium carbonate is orange red. Take note of that. When we talk about copper, that's green. When we talk about lead, because lead is PB, so the B there is for bluish green. When we talk about iron is also green, iron 2 plus. Then when we talk about iron 3 plus, that's reddish brown. So you want to know about all of these colors. They are very, very important that you need to know under qualitative analysis. Okay. And also you want to know cations when they are in ammonia or sodium hydroxide solution. They are very easy. If you want a video on that too, drop it in the comment section so that I can create a video on qualitative analysis. See, everything you need to know about qualitative analysis is well documented. In fact, I'm writing a book on qualitative analysis that you will know everything about qualitative analysis. Okay, it's going to be very fantastic. In fact, if I have a promise, if after you get that book, you do not get everything about qualitative analysis, I'm going to refund you whatever you pay for that book. Okay, I'm still writing it. Hopefully, I'm going to write it before your JAMB exam. But if you want me to hasten it, you can tell me in the comment section so that I will do that. Okay, and make sure you subscribe so that you know when I launch it and so that you don't miss it. Everything, I don't mean part, everything you need to know. If you don't know everything about it after I give you that 22 pages book, I'm going to refund whatever you pay for that book. Okay, I'm still working on that book. So the number 9 topic you need to read, electrochemistry. Now, I did not say electrochemical cell. Electrochemistry is a broad name that now divides electrochemical cell and electrolytic cell. Okay, and electrochemical cell we now have 2 types majorly: the primary cell and the what? Secondary cell. For the primary cell, the Daniel cell and Leclanché. For the secondary cell, the lead acid accumulator and Nife. What does Nife mean? Nickel ion alkaline accumulator. You understand? You want to know the cathode and anode for these particular cells? They are very easy. Okay, I will put it somewhere around this place, maybe on this screen, to share you the mnemonics. Okay, Daniel cousin, length camphor zinger. That's for Daniel cell and Leclanché. That's the anode and cathode, and for the two. Don't worry, I will still talk about it. If you want, or if you want me to record a video, just tell me in the comment section. I know what I'm asking you at this point. As I'm asking you all these questions that you want me to do, be saying it. I will check through the comment section and I'm going to do them based on demand from you. So that's why you have to comment and like and share to your people. Okay. Another thing you want to know is the first law and second law of Faraday, right? The M equals to ZIT, that's the first law. And the second law is M1 over C1 equals to M2 over C2. That's the formula. I have a video on electrolysis. It's here on my channel. Subscribe and go watch all my videos. You will not miss anything. Okay. All right. So now let's move on. Another thing you want to know about electrochemistry is the graphs for the first law. When you plot M against Q, you realize that it will be a straight line graph because the mass deposited is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity passed. So that is that. So the 10th topic you want to know is redox reaction and oxidation number. In fact, I have about 5-minute video explaining oxidation number and the rules guiding them. So if you want to check that, you can also check my video, subscribe, and you will not miss anything. Okay. Redox reaction is very easy. In fact, it will not take me 10 minutes to explain redox reaction to you, right? Redox reaction is reduction and oxidation. You know that I can't explain in this just 10 to 15 minutes video to help you for your JAMB exam. So you want to watch my video. So I've uploaded something on redox reaction. Check it out. Okay. Just know that LEOGA means loss of electron oxidation, gain of electron reduction. And you also want to know what we call cryo. Cathode, what happened at the cathode? Reduction. what happened at the anode? Oxidation. Okay, and I already explained how you can identify if a particular reaction is a redox reaction. That's why you have to be here. Have you subscribed? Yeah, do that now. Subscribe. I will not consider subscribe, like, and share, and comment. You understand? Comment. At every point that I ask you questions, just be commenting. I will reply to everything. Don't worry. I will check it. I have your time. I'm here because of you. The 11th topic you want to read is non-metals and fractional distillation of crude oil. There's a reason why I said this together, right? Now, for non-metals, you want to read about chlorine gas. You want to read about oxygen. You want to read about nitrogen. You want to read about sulfur. Okay, you want to read about phosphorus. Now, what you need to read about phosphorus is the what? Is the allotropes. Okay, the white phosphorus, the red phosphorus, and all of those things. That's what you need to read because there's a particular point in that thing which one can ignite, can use as ignition power, and that's high ignition power. So you want to read those things. So another thing I want to read under them is the allotropic nature and isotopic nature of this particular element. Okay, the one that exhibits allotropes like oxygen and ozone, the same state because they are both gaseous but different forms. Okay, that's what they call allotropy. The element itself is called an allotropes. So you have to understand the same thing with isotopy and isotopes. Isotopy is a phenomenon. Isotopes is the element. I have a video on how you can calculate the relative atomic mass of an element that exhibits isotopy, like chlorine. Is on my video, so you want to check it out. It will really help you. Okay. The 12th. Okay, another thing that you have to know about it. Okay, sorry. For fractional distillation of crude oil, don't forget the word crude is an English word, right? It means unrefined. Okay, and that's in it can substitute petroleum. So it can undergo what we call fractional distillation. Don't forget, when I talk about separation techniques, I mentioned something like around fractional distillation where we use what? Boiling point. Exactly. So because of the boiling point, this particular petroleum can distill, right, and give out their product. For instance, the first product that it's going to give is what we call petroleum gas. Okay, and it will boil out at about 40 degrees Celsius, and the carbon is 1 to 4. This is a JAMB question. That's what they ask. So you want to understand that petroleum gas contain, C1, C2, C3, C4. But there's one that is very, very important for your domestic use. JAMB question. What is that? C34. That's where I know it's 34. That means C3, propane and butane. They liquefy them for domestic gas. So that your gas at home that you used to cook is actually propane and butane, liquefied one that is there. It's a JAMB question. The second product is what we call what? Petrol. That's the liquid one that they sell for your what? For your gen at home. Okay, that's petrol. And that one has about C4 to what? To C8. Okay, C4 to C8. It's very, very important that you know that. So another one is kerosene. Kerosene is the next product. Okay, I'm not going to list, I'm going to explain everything to you here because I'm going to make a video on that will explain the mnemonics and everything, how you can remember the percentage and the how you can remember the boiling point and the carbon numbers. Okay, but for kerosene is what? Is C12 to C18. C12 to C18. There's a reason why I know these first three. And the last one is what? Bitumen or asphalt. That's what they use in your road construction. And what's the temperature? What's the boiling point? Greater than 600 degrees Celsius. I cannot forget these ones. So I will teach you anyways. Don't worry. Just subscribe. You will learn everything. Comment how this has been helpful. If you have been finding it helpful, comment and I will reply to all of these comments. Okay. Another thing that you want to read is metals and its compound. Very, very important. You want to know about the hulls. Okay. For instance, when they ask you all of iron like hematite and magnetite, when they ask all of aluminum like bauxite, all of tin like cassiterite, all these are very, very important. And the extractions, the electrolytic extraction, the electrolytic process that happens for these extractions. Okay, you want to remember what they use cryolite for, abi, to reduce what? The high, melting point. Okay, that's what they use cryolite for. So it will reduce the melting point. It's serving as impurities in the extraction of what? Aluminum. All these little things, you have to understand them. Another thing that you want to know about these extractions, okay, is electroplating. You understand? When they tell you, I will teach you, when they say silver, gold wristwatch will bleach after 4 weeks. Because of what? It's because they put gold as they electroplate the iron with gold. And don't forget, gold is lower than iron in the electrochemical series. So the gold will undergo oxidation. Then you see the iron. So that's why you see that panda that people buy. But anyway, it's chemistry. I hope you enjoy. I hope you learned something. Tell me thank you in the comment section. Unless I will not continue. Oh, yeah, tell me thank you. Drop it. Okay. air and air pollution, water and water pollution, and chemical equilibrium is very, very important. You want to know the concept of air, CO2, water, nitrogen and oxygen, and rare gases or noble gases. Sorry, it's actually noble gases. They don't call them rare again, right? Because they are now found to be reactive. They are called noble because everybody wants to be like them. That's why they call them noble gases. Okay, so just take note of that. And you want to know the uses of these noble gases. For it, the major one that JAMB emphasize is argon and neon. The uses, and you want to know that argon A is the most abundant noble gases in the A atmosphere, while helium He is the most abundant noble gas in the world, in the universe. Take note of that. While hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe, but helium is the most abundant noble gas in the universe. So chemical equilibrium, I have a video on that. You don't want to miss it. You want to know the factors necessary for chemical equilibrium to happen, right? For chemical reaction to be in chemical equilibrium, you want to know, there are majorly three actually. The reaction must be reversible. It must be in a closed system. The rate of forward reaction must be equal to the rate of backward reaction. You want to take note of that, and you don't want to miss that. It's very, very important. And how to write Kc and Kp for chemical reactions, I have video on that. You don't want to miss it. Subscribe now to check all of these videos. They are very, very important. Okay. And I also explain TCP, temperature, concentration, and pressure. So the number 14th topic, you want to read is solubility and rate of chemical reaction. Solubility, you have to understand the types of solutions that we have: the saturated, unsaturated, and supersaturated. These things are very easy anyways. Just like the word, you are saturated. That means you have contained, you have taken what you can hold. Supersaturated, you have taken more than what you can hold. Unsaturated, that means you have taken lesser than what you can hold. Very easy talk something. And you want to also know the type of solution, like true solution. These three things we said, they are under true solution. But there's something called false solution. That's suspension and colloid, right? So for suspension, they settle on standing. How do I know? S suspension. Settle on standing. SS. Colloidal, you understand? They do not settle on standing. And you want to know different types of these solutions like emulsion, aerosol. In fact, I can tell you all of this: air in liquid in solid, solid in liquid. I will make a video on that. So subscribe if you want to get all of these things. But they are very, very important things that you have to know. Okay. Please take note of that. You want to read them. And the solubility formula, you want to read them. I have a video on solubility. You can also check my YouTube channel for that. So I've made a video, about 5-minute video on solubility and how you can solve. But the major formula is the one that has to do with mole per dm cube. You can consider water. It can also be mole per dm cube, where it is concentration in gram per dm cube over molar mass, and you can redefine that formula into whatever you want. Okay. Now for rate of reaction, you want to know the 7 factors that affect rate of reaction. For instance, what is number 1? In fact, the first thing you have to know is that temperature is there, concentration is there, pressure is there. Okay. Then you want to talk about sunlight. You want to talk about nature of reactant. You want to talk about catalyst. Okay. All of those things are very, very important for you to do well. And the last one, which is what? Surface area. I have a video on that already, so you want to check them. Last but not the least is organic chemistry. I mean, you know that already, that organic chemistry is one of the topics that you want to read before exam. But most times, it's not actually hard. The one they will ask you is not hard. Basically, it's just the basic ones that they will ask you. Okay, what are they like? Basically, let me just do organic chemistry like 5 minutes if possible, but it's not going to be up to 5 minutes though. You want to talk about the organic chemistry can be divided into two: the hydrocarbons and non-hydrocarbons. But what is organic chemistry? It's actually the study of carbon and its compound, with the exception of CO2 and carbonate. Okay. And first of all, yes, I have to know this. Ammonia or urea, you have to know this. Urea is the first organic compound to be synthesized. That's what we define the definition. Because before, they thought organic chemistry is the study of compound that is present in life, like organic, living, that is present in living thing. But now it's now redefined because of urea that is discovered in the laboratory. You understand? Using ammonium cyanide. But that's by the way. But another one thing you have to understand is the aliphatic, the alkane, alkyne. The general formula for these things, like alkane is CnH2n plus 2, alkene is CnH2n, alkyne is CnH2n minus 2. Very, very important. Okay. And the aromatic, which is the benzene, the arenes. Okay. They are very, very important. Another thing you want to know is the hybridization of this alkane, alkyne, and alkane. sp3, sp2, and sp3 for alkane, sp2 for alkene, and sp for alkyne. They are very, very important. Okay. Another thing that you want to know about these things is for the non-hydrocarbons, right? For the alkanol, the oxidation of alkanol, primary, secondary, and tertiary alkanol. You want to know that because you have to know. Primary alkanol can oxidize to what? If it is partial oxidation, it will be alkana. If it is complete, it will be alkanoic acid. Secondary alkanol, if undergo oxidation, it will just form alkanones, ketones. While tertiary alkanol cannot undergo oxidation. You want to know that it's very, very important. Okay, for alkanals, they has that reducing ability. So they are the one responsible for the change color of what to Benedict solution. You have to understand because of the reducing ability. You have to understand that. So why I cannot do that? Very, very important. Another thing you want to know is polymerization. We have two types: addition polymerization and condensation polymerization. For condensation, there's release of molecules like ammonia and water, but for addition, there's no release. And you want to understand the different constituents, like for polythene, polythene, PVC, polyvinyl chloride, nylon 66. There's a reason why they call it nylon 66. It's because of hexa, the monomers. But you have to know that. That's why if I see it in the option, I know nylon 6s. That means I'll just go and check hexa. So that anything that's with that hexa will be the constituent of that nylon. So they used to ask that. Polystyrene, you want to know all of these things. Okay, they are very, very important. So hydrocarbon and organic chemistry as a whole is something. So if you can know all these basic things I just told you right now, in fact, you might actually score the marks in organic chemistry. And another thing you want to know is the naming, and they are very important. And I've made videos on the naming of organic and hydrocarbons generally. And another thing you want to know is esterification reaction, how to name them, because they have an unusual naming. Like when we have, let's say we have ethanol and you know and methanoic. If you name them and you want to call them, it will be what? You call the alkanol part, which is ethyl, because it is ethanol, it will be ethyl methanoate. But if you want to write it, you write the alkanoic side part first before you write the alkanol. Can you see the technicality? So if I have a video on it, so you can check it out. It will really help you. Another thing I want to know is saponification. Saponification is alkaline hydrolysis of fat and oil. Okay, you understand? You want to know that it's very, very important. That's where they used to form your soap, and it is non-reversible, unlike alkanoates, that is the esters, and they have sweet smells. The esters, those one are reversible. You want to note all of those things. They are very, very important. Another thing you want to know is monosaccharide, disaccharide, and polysaccharide. Okay, you know that the forward reaction, when two monosaccharide combine, they form disaccharide. Okay, and that forward reaction is what is called condensation reaction. It's a JAMB question. And the backward reaction is what you call what? Hydrolysis. You want to take note of that. Yes, I hope these 15 most repeated topics in chemistry really help you. Now, this does not totally substitute your total syllabus, but if you have just few, this does not totally substitute your JAMB syllabus, but if you have just few days to your exam, you should be here and you should listen to all I've said from someone that had 314 in his last JAMB exam and had 90 in his chemistry JAMB exam. If you want for another series, like maybe for physics or biology, drop in the comment section and I'll make it up to you. I'll create a video on that. I hope you learned something from this video. If you do, please follow, share, comment, and subscribe, and also like. My name is Deechemistrytutor, and I'm the founder of Deechemistrytutor. I hope you learned something. See you in my next video where I'll be seeing you in class. Catch you. And also, if you want to join our JAMB class, it has started. Yes, you can send me a message if you are watching this, where we teach 4 hours every day. Yes, and with all your textbooks, we'll give you all the textbooks for free. The past question, if you don't have them, we'll give you for free once you join our class. You will see my number around this video. Send me a message on my WhatsApp. See you in class. Bye for now. Peace.